Alright, so this is about 5 miles into the race. Sorry, I was only shooting at 60 frames per second on an SLR, but still lead women. You could see that stride rate is pretty high with all elite runners, and stride length is also pretty long because they're running fast. Usually at least 170, 180, if not 190 steps per minute with the stride rate or cadence. And as long of a stride as possible that you could aerobically support with your heart and lungs. So these are very well conditioned, very well trained athletes. They're generating a lot of power, at least power to weight ratio. And not all the forms the same, not all the forms perfect, but people work with different biomechanics, whether it's muscle imbalance or leg length discrepancy or distribution of weight between your arms and your legs to the distance, the length of your shin versus the length of your femur, as well as different foot shapes, different arch types, different resilience with how much the Achilles tendon could recoil and hold or energy release with each step, with each loading, as well as what your arms are doing, propelling you forward. You have to have a strong core. You have to have your glutes activating. You have to have all your muscles really in tune with what you're doing to run with smooth form. You can see Neely Spence Gracie there, and running over the top of the ground. You don't want to think your feet are like pogo sticks bouncing into the ground. You're popping off the ground very in the air, but at the same time you need to be turning those legs over fast like wheels. So Hoka teammate Stephanie. And yeah, this international team challenge, so a lot of different runners representing different countries racing hard. Really inspiring to see out on the streets of Boulder. These athletes are super fast, especially at 10K. Here's the start of the men's race now. We got a big lead pack coming through, and again, you could see the long stride length. These guys are flying. I mean, to run 440, 430 mile pace, you have to have a long stride length, and if you're taking 180, 190 steps per minute, that just means you're going to have a really high velocity. And these guys, aerobically, they're super, super fit. You have to have the VO2 max, the heart and lungs, the ability to run faster than your lactate threshold and dissipate lactate or circulate lactate through a tremendous amount of pain, and you really see the strain on a lot of these athletes. Always a huge event in downtown Boulder, lots of runners coming in. Wasn't brutally hot this afternoon. The elite race happens after most people have already finished, so it is usually warmer in the day and the afternoon, around 11:40 to 11:45 p.m. about roughly when this was shot. There's my other Hoka teammate. I believe he's wearing the Hoka One Tracer. Also running really well. You can see he's got a real powerful stride. You can see all the tendons and muscles in his legs with each step. Really working hard there and placing well. The men's race was pretty tight at this point, 5 miles in, 8 kilometers in about. They're heading up towards the intersection of Canyon and Folsom. There's a local Hudson Elite athlete. And yeah, it was just really, really cool to see. These runners are amazingly fast. I would not want to be in a race, especially a 10K race against these guys.